Well, I really hoped you enjoyed yesterday's video on designing your 2026 by doing more of things that you like and that you prioritize. Well, to help you do those things, today we're going to talk about 10 easy ways that we can go into the new year in a more organized, structured way. So what do you say, Stuart?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Number one, and by the way, I understand completely. Most of you who are very organized already do these things, but for the rest of us that really aren't that organized, Stuart's pointing to himself, I'll point to myself. These things, well, let's just say we could all use them as reminders. And so number one is have one spot for paperwork. Just make sure that it's kind of semi-organized, that it's not all over the place, and you just have one place so that when you go to look for a document or a photo or a bill or anything along those lines, you know that you only have one place to look in. And that requires a certain amount of discipline instead of I sometimes just stick things. Stuart, do you do that?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just stick things different places, and instead I just need to discipline myself to put all of my paperwork in just one spot, and then as I have time to go through it, I can go through it methodically, and I'm not looking for anything because it's all in one spot. Now, the caveat to that is that you need your partner or your spouse, your significant other, whoever lives with you, to try to do the same thing. And actually, Hubs is pretty good about it. I'll say, what did you do with such and such? And I'll say, oh, it's on your desk. So for me, obviously, that place is on my desk. And once I tidy up my desk, I will have that one spot where I keep all of my paperwork. Tell me where you keep most of your paperwork. If it is like someplace designated in the kitchen, if you've got a headquarters, kind of a control central in your downstairs living area, let me know where Command Central is for you. Okay, but Linda, you say, first, you've got to get all of that paperwork and whatever in the door. But before it goes in the pile, what do you do with all of that incoming? Because a good bit of it comes in the mail. And for me, what I do is whenever I get the mail, I am pretty good about this, is I deal with it immediately. I have a letter opener on the buffet right by my door. And as soon as I bring that stack of mail in, I immediately tear up, toss, whatever, into recycling, anything that's just junk mail. That includes the catalogs, all of that kind of thing. I put whatever catalogs I really want to look at in one designated spot, because in the past I've put them in different locations and I find that doesn't work, with one exception. Any of my seed and gardening catalogs, bulb catalogs, anything of that nature, I have one specific basket for them. All of the other ones go in one designated pile that I can then grab and go if we take a road trip and I want to peruse them as Hubs is driving and I am on the passenger side, or if I'm going to get my hair done, I can just grab them because they're all in one spot. So I do try to deal with all of my incoming mail almost immediately, and I do have a portal that they go through so that I can make sure that they all go to their designated spots. Okay, here is something that I have recently realized is so important, and that is with regularity, cleaning out your purse, your backpack, whatever it is you use as you go about the course of your day. For me, a lot of my expenses are related to our business, so I need to keep all of those receipts. I often have just, dirty Kleenex, things like that in my purse. Then I can't find what's in my purse. Then I lose things. So periodically, I really am trying to make the effort. It's one of those things you can do in the margins of your time that we talked about. Have 5 minutes, go through your purse. And so I have started doing that pretty regularly. I remove any kind of receipts and I put them in my one paperwork file on my desk, so I know I know that I need to record them. If I've got business cards in there, I have one specific place where I put those. I get rid of all of the trash and detritus that's at the bottom of my my purse, and I just feel a little bit more organized. Sometimes I'll find I've got, I don't know how many pair of sunglasses or reading glasses in the bottom of my purse, and then when I go to look for them, I can't find any one of them. So very, very frequently now, I am going through my beautiful bag that I got from New York City from my friend Olympia, and I am really trying to be very disciplined about going through my purse with regularity and dispersing the objects therein to where they need to go. Yeah, Stuart just said he needs to do that with his camera bag because it's all in there. We just can't always find it. So, so whatever it is that you use in the course of your profession, that deserves a real going through. And likewise, the trunk of your car, the back of your car, the back seat of your car. If you are a mom or a dad and you are toting kids around, it's so hard to do because we are just constantly engulfed in the busyness of our days. But I think with great frequency, if we go through, like for example, I very infrequently go through the trunk of my little tiny Fiat. I went through it the other day, and underneath a lot of my grocery bags, my recycled grocery bags, what did I find? I found a thrifted tray that I bought for Jamie and Taylor for Christmas, and I never took it out of the back of my car.
Hey, John, the last one?
At the last one, remember? And I said, oh, this one looks so great. Okay, I didn't take it out. So now that might be a Valentine's Day gift or something. So, so every once in a while, go through the bowels of the trunk of your car, the back seat of your car, look under the seats, look everywhere, and kind of tidy them up. Even if you don't vacuum them out, tidy them up because you're always finding things you've been looking for a really long time. Okay, this also kind of relates to finding things. We can't find things in, just a big old mess. And my phone is a big old mess. And so I am spending, here I say I want to spend less time on my phone, but with this exception, I am trying to, with great intention, go through all the apps on my phone and either consolidating them in one place or getting rid of a lot of them because I have all sorts of unused apps on my phone, and quite frankly, it stresses me out every time I look at my phone because then I can't find the apps I really need. So I am going to go through very methodically. It will take me take me a long time to delete some of those apps. But in the process, as Stuart said, sometimes you'll find a treasure, something you've been looking for or not looking for, case in point, my thrifted gift for Jamie and Taylor, for a long time. And I have rediscovered apps that do things I still want to do, but I forgot that they even existed. So in the process of removing them, I have either rediscovered them or relocated them to the trash bin. Okay, this next one, I'm going to a little bit give me a gold star for in the parlance of Gretchen Rubin and her sister Liz on the Happiness Project. And if you're not following that podcast, it's a great one to follow. And that is make a no dump zone. So I can't tell you how effective it has been for me to have a no dump zone in the corner of my kitchen island. Very infrequently, unless I'm working on a project or Hubs is working on a project, is there something in that no dump zone. Because I find if that kind of space is all trashed out and disorganized, especially if it is right within your line of vision when you walk in the door, that stresses me out and it makes me be even more messy than I'm inclined to be otherwise. So I have found that if I declare one no dump zone and that works, then I'm going to declare other areas in my house no dump zones. And I am not doing this without a lot of forethought because I don't want to make it unpleasant to live in my house. But Stuart, tell me the truth, is it unpleasant for me to have a no dump zone?
Not at all. And it's actually like, I mean, if I set something there, it's only for a second to grab and put somewhere else. Or like,
right. I think it, and I think it enforces discipline. And I'm not just talking about the people that come into my house. It enforces discipline upon me. So I know, okay, whatever is that in that area is only there temporarily. And I'm going to take a I'm going to digress for a moment, because one of the things that's there temporarily right now is Stuart's snack for today. For today, I love having little snacks for him, and I have a new trail mix that I've come up with, and I'm going to be sharing in an upcoming video, and Stuart gives it the thumbs up. So I digress, but remind me to share that with you. It's a really good, healthy, high protein, delicious trail mix. So when we come back, let's talk of some other ways that we can very easily be more structured and organized in 2026. Okay, for me, this is by far, Stuart, let's put my number one problem I have in structure and organization, and that is calendar management. Everybody who is on the Linda Vater team, anybody who works with me, anyone who comes into my life knows that I am very, very poor about calendar management. And quite frankly, I have been poor about it for the past 35 years. Ever since I quit having a desk job, a regular office desk job where I was in an administrative position and I sat down and I had my calendar in front of me on my desk every single day. Because now I just keep too many calendars. And actually, when I was researching this topic, it said I should only have one calendar. And I agree with that, with one exception. Now I have one calendar, which Stuart right here, let's put some B-roll of the skylight calendar that now guides our days, that we are both going to be better about using in a more disciplined way in 2026. So that calendar actually interfaces with my Gmail calendar, and this is in terms of digital calendars. The other thing that I am doing is now I'm being very disciplined in using one written calendar. I've showed you this before, so the fact that you're seeing it again shows that I'm being disciplined about it. Oh gosh, I'm so bad. And one thing I am bad about is I take notes and I write notes, and I have them just about everywhere. Which creates its own kind of disorganization and stress. And so now in my written calendar, that is where I am really keeping track of all the things that I want to tell you, that I want to tell Hubs, that I need to tell the electrician. And I'm trying to be very good about keeping it all in one place on my calendar. And then my digital calendar for me is when I have appointments, when we are shooting at a different location, doctor's appointments, hair appointments, all of those kinds of things that, quite frankly, I'm not good about. I'm not good about keeping them. I'm bad about double booking. And I am now going to be very, very disciplined. You guys can keep me honest on this. I'm going to be very, very disciplined about using just my Skylight digital calendar and just this one written calendar. So tell me, please, make me feel better, and tell me if you sometimes have this problem too. It makes me feel so much better about myself, because it is one of the things that I am very insecure about is my very poor calendaring skills. So if you've got tips and tricks for this, please share them with me, because I really am in need of help. There, I'm just going to say it there, help. And finally, as I am just rabid this time of year. I don't do spring cleaning. I do a big old January clean up, organization, because it's when typically the weather is bad and I don't feel compelled to be outside. Sadly or fortunately, the weather has really been beautiful, and I just want to be outside all of the time. So I'm going to have to I'm going to have to navigate around that issue, because typically I try to do my indoor things when it's ugly outside. But I am trying to prioritize and think through how I go through my organization. And what I have found is, instead of my trying to force my strategy for organization upon the cottage, I am letting it tell me where to start and where to go from there. So for me, I've decided that if the one thing another priority for me is I want to cook more and eat more healthily in the new year, then that tells me where I need to start is in my refrigerator. So I started in my kitchen, into my refrigerator, and by doing that, it told me where I need to go next is my pantry. And my pantry then told me that the next place I need to go, ironically, was to take down the Christmas tree in the parlor. Now, don't try to make sense out of that. Don't in any way think that there's any kind of, system analysis to that. Just trust me. It's just what you do next, just like in garden design. What you do here will tell you what to do next. It's the same in terms of organizing in your house. I do one thing, it tells me where to go next. That thing tells me where to go next. And eventually there is rhyme and reason to my rabid need to get organized in the new year. And do things have to be perfect? No. But believe me, I am enjoying this. It's not because I am denying myself other pleasures. This time of year, I find it refreshing just organizing all my stuff outside, getting my garage cleaned out, getting my bins cleaned out. I can hear my laundry. I'm getting laundry done. All of that I find pleasurable. At other times of the year, it is just an annoyance. So I might as well be organized and be structured when it is pleasurable to me in January of 2026. So if you've got other ways that are easy, that are just wonderful dictums that we should all follow to be organized in the new year, please drop them in the comments below, because what you might learn from me, trust me, I get tenfold back from you. If you like this kind of content, please make sure to share it with a friend, to subscribe, to give us, what is it, Stuart? A hype. It's just right there by the like and follow button. More importantly, share it with others. I'm not sure when you'll see this, if it will be before or after our Linda Vater Live. If it's before, please make sure to tune in at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time on Sunday, because we're going to talk about all things related to our respective words of the year. So make sure that you tune in and that you have your word of the year handy. And also, if you are one of those that wants to attend the Garden Boutique Experience in Oklahoma City, please make sure to let me know as we disperse more information, share more information with you, that you let me know at support@lindavater.com that you want to attend. So I have a record of that. Make sure to give me your full name and your contact information. So let's just go forth into 2026.